Hi everyone, I am in my work clothes because I'm going to head outside and try to work around the tiny house where we have kind of a small garage and it has a lot of supplies, and I have cleaned that over 1,000,000 times, and today I think it's going to be 1,000,001. So it is one that gets out of control. I don't go in there, I don't get it out of control, but I seem to be the one that always straightens it up. So I'm recruiting hubby. Hopefully we can tackle some of this, look at things to donate or trash, and make it a little more presentable, because it is not. We've also waited till the weather has cooled down, so there's no more excuses. I'm procrastinating. I hate cleaning that garage because it's not my mess. Let's do it. I just want to say thanks in advance for being patient with me in this voiceover. I don't do a lot of them in my videos, but because this was somewhat outside and we were going to be moving around a lot, I thought it would be better. So thanks for sticking with me in this. My sweet husband went ahead and took out the stuff that was on the floor and started cleaning before I could even make it outside. So what a sweetie. He earned some brownie points for that. So basically what he did was just pull everything out, and our goal was going to just be putting things back where they belonged, also identifying things that could go to donation or to trash. Now, we don't both have the knowledge of the decision making on all of that because we are not mechanically inclined. So we'll rely on others. Here you'll see me moving 2 bags, and those are fruit tree fertilizers. And we are going to go ahead and relocate those to the garden. I enlisted hubby's help because they did weigh a lot. And you'll see I was getting the leaves out of the tub that lives in the garden, and it just happens to be empty because we reorganized some of the things that had been in it. And so that made space for that fertilizer as well as ground cover. I think it's called ground cover weed barrier. And we're just kind of in and out, and I'm trying to assess, what do I jump into first? And I just tackled the little cart. It was a 3-tier cart that we had, and that's what you're seeing here. There's a bucket of gloves that I found and had hubby come over to look through them, and he decided that 1 pair were salvageable and the others could go ahead and be trashed. And I'm now, because I have the trash in my hand, just looking to see if there's any other quick wins for trash. And what I really observed is that there are a lot of tools that need to be put away and probably just organized. So it's kind of tedious because you're dealing with a lot of small pieces. Now, when we built this tiny house and this tiny garage, because it is not a garage that holds like a full-size car. It is truly just a functional storage area. We decided to put up some shelving. We used a old kitchen cabinet and counter to use some storage. My brother got us the piece of metal kind of tabletop that is behind me in this picture for free. So a lot of this has been kind of a mix mash. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. So it has been how we've put it together in pieces. Okay, so my brother is a wizard at repairing things. And we have a lot of things that get repaired. But you can see like mice have been in here chewing on paper boxes. So we are cleaning that kind of stuff up and getting it out. And some of it we don't know what to do with, but we're going to try to group like things with like and put them in Rubbermaid tubs There's some lawnmower equipment stuff, like wheels and stuff like that. I just need my brother to come one day and help clean it out. So I'm going to show you. This is what my husband has already pulled out of here. It's just a lot of stuff. And yeah, some of it's useful. I'm looking at stuff like when we tiled our backsplash or the tiny house, we had all of our tiling materials, the sponges, the dividers, stuff like that. That can go donation. It's been here for years. We haven't reused it. It's not high dollar items. So if we need to repurchase, then we'll repurchase. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. So just to give you an idea, this is the area. We have a washer and dryer here that needs to be cleaned. My husband has a safe. Most people in Texas have safes, or throughout the country, but we have a safe. And then this is a lot of my garden stuff in this shelving unit. But all of that is down here in this cabinet. That's like our extra paint and things like that. That used to be kitchen cabinets that we repurposed. I am not really happy with that solution, so I may get an open shelving that can go there and maybe be a little bit better for seeing what we have. But something's got to change because this system's not been working for us. And you can see if it has a flat surface, it gets overflowing. And that's what is happening over there as well. That 3 little stand, that was my parents'. They end up donating that. So this is why I was dreading this. Because it's stuff that I don't necessarily know the answers to. And I've done this too many times to count. But we're going to do it one more time. I'm only spending a couple hours on this today because I have a girls' night tonight. And we'll get done what we can get done. That's just the way it's going to be. So right now I'm just trying to look for tools that have a home either here or in this little red toolbox and putting it there. All right, the voiceover is back again. So I may be in and out explaining what I am doing. So one thing I did want to call out is I did start putting like things with likes, so things like plumbing items and or painting items. And then here I am literally just putting tools away. We have had that red toolbox for a very, very long time, and probably 20 plus years. So I'm very familiar in which items go in which drawer. So that was very quick decision making for me. Now, as I am editing this, you can see on the shelving above how there are 3x5 cards taped. You can see where we've organized this in the past with things labeled, and that made it very easy for us to identify where things were. But it's usually not a one and done. You have to revisit spaces and say what else is working and what's not working. And on that white wall to the left, I am thinking that might be a really excellent wall to put some pegboard on and maybe hang up tools. So I'm just have the wheels in my head turning for other opportunities. And here I'm being kind of smart alecky and saying, how hard is it to put a screwdriver back? But we have to be patient with people because not everybody organizes like we do. My husband is a macro person. He is not a micro person. And also, when I do get help in things that are broken down, a lot of times my brother, as an example, is doing me favors, and he often works late and then leaves at late hours, and I don't expect him to go and put everything away. That's just not realistic, and so I don't want any of this to sound negative on him. We all do this, where you have whether you have a junk room or you have your garage get out of control. Sometimes we just have to pause, jump back into it, get it back under control, and figure out what systems we can put into place where we're not going to maybe have to dedicate 2 hours to doing it. So again, we can't expect everybody to be like us, and I don't. I just dreaded coming back into this space because I knew it was going to be tedious, and quite honestly, it's not as fun as decluttering and organizing inside the house. Am I the only one that feels that way? Do you have a space that you don't enjoy organizing? I definitely do, and I think this is it. So, yeah, I am just kind of reassessing my tone at the beginning of this video and how I was procrastinating. And really by the end of the video, when it was clean and it was done, you really do have a good feeling and endorphin kind of rush. And you're so glad that you invested the time and effort into it. So at this point, I start taking all of these tools. Most of them are battery operated. There are a few, and these are the things that I think might do really well on a pegboard, but I'm going to end up putting them under a cabinet that's completely empty. So I think that's where they used to go, but that doesn't mean that it's a great place for them because they didn't make it back down there. So maybe if there was a pegboard with an outline or notes on the pegboard that said this is where this tool goes, maybe it would get put up better. I would love to hear from you if you've done something like that. How did it work for you? Did people end up putting those items away, or do they still end up on your horizontal spaces? I would love to hear that from you. So enough talking for me for just a little while. You'll continue to see I'm clearing spaces and putting things away, but we'll go ahead and insert some music for you here and keep going. Solar lights we haven't used. I didn't even know they were out here. All right, we are making progress. We have some clean surfaces and we still have a mess. So husband's taking some of the stuff to a different storage unit that we don't need. That's all that does. To a different storage unit where we don't need those things, but tools and stuff are happening. We have 2 trash bags full and some donation items. And we keep the cats in here during the winter time. They have a little oil heater. They have an igloo that is electric. It actually will keep their body warm. It's not a heater per se, and it's activated when they are on it. So we're making progress, but it is slow going, and I'm not worried about like under the cabinets. I know that is paints and stuff. I'm just worried right now about surface and getting the stuff back in here that needs to come back in here and trashing. So this is going to be step 1. I know we will have probably another step 2, which will be into the nitty gritty, but I really need my brother here also. And then I need to look for a solution. We have a heavy duty shelving unit that my husband keeps his stuff on the opposite side. And for his privacy, I'm not showing you that. But I'm thinking about replacing this cabinet with something like that. We may have to cut off a couple of these shelves to put it in here, but I think it'll be a better storage for his tools maybe, and to actually see what we have. But we shall see. I don't know. We could also maybe put one up against the wall and then have another one coming this way and just get a lot more storage. Or we could get rid of junk. The thing is that my brother being a mechanic, he needs some of this stuff. And my brother-in-law, if he comes and fixes stuff, they need it. And so it's almost like a necessity. And we live 30 minutes away from town. So rather than have to run into town to get something, that's why you store some of these supplies. And that's okay. It is what it is living out here in the country. But what goes through my mind too is, if I were having to move, would I keep this stuff? And the answer would be no, I wouldn't. I'd get rid of it. But because we do live out here and we're not moving, and this could be used for maintenance of our Rhino and 4-wheeler and our boat and lawnmower and log splitter and all those things, we have to keep it. So let me keep going. You know you've proper worked hard when your hands are filthy. You get to see me at my best and my worst, and that's okay. It's life, right? Dust. Okay, so this is what outside is looking like. The back of my husband's truck has a bunch of stuff for trash, donation. He's relocating some stuff. We have some empty surfaces. I'll put those notebooks in there for right now. So this is empty. This is empty. This is a little bit more organized. I created a box up on the top shelf for painting supplies. I know in our other storage we have some painting supplies, but these were in here. So they may eventually go over there. And let me bring you around. So over here, he's got to deal with up there. I'm not dealing with that. But this is a lot of, I think, miscellaneous parts for my brother. And lawnmower parts and things like that. The 2 bottom shelves are empty. These are some oil guns up here, lubrication guns, I think. And we brought our weed eaters back in here. I'll talk to husband about those because I can't operate them anymore with my neck and my hand. I can do the little lightweight electric one, but that's it. So we may see about maybe downsizing because we have 4 and they all have a different purpose. Like the one with the bag over it has a blade on it for cutting like little cedar trees and shrubs and stuff like that. But for a couple of hours work, this was successful. I mean, now you can walk in here. Before you couldn't, and it was just junky. I went ahead and just over here so you can see, this is the old extension cord was outside. We had a lot of stuff outside. I said we were Sanford and Son in business because we were junking it up, and I don't roll like that. Okay, and then down in this cabinet are tools, battery operated tools or plug-in type of tools. But it is looking better, guys. It's looking better. That's round one. We still have some more work to do in here, but this should get us at least functional a little bit more. And until, like I said, I have a visitor come and help me make some decisions on this stuff. My husband, back of his truck is full. So the cats have a safe haven. They have their little heater. We're plugged in. We're good to go. So thank you for joining me on today for a little bit of garage cleanup. 1 or 2 hours invested makes it better. So in the future videos, we're going to go look at the storage units and look and see what we can trash or donate out of those. We've been waiting for cooler weather, and it's time to tackle those too. So watch for those coming up. Thanks for watching. I'm going to close like my dad always closed his voicemail messages. Bye for now.